paranormal, special guests, interviews, haunting stories, creatures of the unknown, and tales that will chill you to the bone. Brought to you by the UPRN Network and Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. Take a walk into the night with Shawn Kelly.
Good evening, everybody. This is Shawn Kelly. My show is Into the Night, founder of the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. And we are live on 105.3 New Orleans. And what a week. What a week. You know, I've been having that depression so much. And it was like a couple days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I said, you know what? I got to really look into myself. I really have to take care of myself. And so I got blood tests done yesterday. And I mean, they took every test you can possibly get with the blood. And I go see my doctor at 2:45 tomorrow afternoon. So I'm a little nervous, you know what I mean? Because it's been a while since they drew blood on me. And hopefully everything comes out all right. I don't know. I put it in Spirit's hands. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can't worry about it, or else I'm going to get sick. You know what I mean? And I just want to tell everybody who are going through some, mental health problems that I do pray for you, and I am there for you if you need me. But I might not know you, and will never get to meet you, but I'll never see you. But you can guarantee one thing for sure, I will be praying for you. And that was my little message that I had to share. And I want to welcome at the last moment, Michelle. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, DeRoche, it's a tongue twister, I know.
I know it's a big tongue twister. And she is my manager,
Guess so, yeah. Apparently I am.
And she was really nice to come on, my guest kind of like bailed out, but I'm glad she's on. And I'll tell you what, everybody, not here kissing her butt, nothing like that. But I was talking to her on the show. I was talking to her on the show last week, and I have so much respect for this woman. Okay. I listen to shows, and when we have our meetings, this is one classy lady. I'm telling you, and I'm being honest with you, Michelle.
Thank you.
And
very kind.
So if you would like to tell my audience all about you,
Well, here on the network, aside from just managing the network, I have 2 shows. We have the Outer Realm Radio with myself and Amelia Pisano, which is, Wednesdays and Thursdays. And we have the Gray Zone Uncensored with myself and Joe Montaldo, which usually airs on Saturdays. But I've been doing television and various media for close to 2 decades. So
wow.
You pretty much just, if you Google my name, you'll probably see all kinds of stuff come up from all kinds of years. And people often message me, says, "Oh my God, I saw your blonde hair." I'm like, "Oh, I was really old. That was probably around 2007. I matched it by my hair." Yeah, I remember that.
What got you into TV?
Really, it found me. I mean, I've had paranormal experiences my entire life. And I've been, medium my whole life. And I've had experiences from the time I was a child. When I had children, I didn't like the mix. I just completely shut off everything, but didn't bank on the fact that my children would be seeing everything. I had to switch back on just so I could see what was going on and, being able to comfort them or work with them, that sort of thing. But as they got older,
hey, Amelia.
Probably. I just sort of got into it and got into the field quite by accident, just by going on a ghost tour. And at that point, by telling them everything that was going on, we just started working together. And I guess media just seemed to like the mix because it just came to me from that point on. I never had to go ever looking for it, I can honestly say. And it's been one heck of a ride ever since. And here we are today.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? It happened when I formed PPS back in 2006. That's when the TV shows came on, um, Ghost Hunters and stuff like that. And like you know, it came to me. It founded me.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't so much newspaper writings, you know, interview on the local news channel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I will be honest with you, I had an ego about it at the beginning. You know what I mean? I was like, wow, look at me, you know. And I learned, you know, for doing it after the ego bit, I learned that I really needed to be humble when I would investigate. To, and not have that ego because I'll tell you why. There are times, you know, when I would catch myself getting that little bit of an ego on, and it's like spirit come in and slap me upside the face. You know what I mean? It's like, you
Has a
know
way of
what?
doing that.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, he does.
Hmm.
And so I just I just went with it, you know, and it just seems like I kept doing it. I kept doing it. I kept doing it, and now starting 2006, it's 2022, and I don't know. I enjoy it, but I'll be honest with you, Michelle. I do want to retire from it. I do
Mm,
because it
yeah.
has taken a toll on me. How about you?
Um, I mean, I say you have to go with how you feel. People don't realize when you're doing energy work and working in a field, it gets very draining. And it's not just from a spirit standpoint. I mean, I've for 2 decades worked in with really malevolent hauntings and attachments and things. It's just something that I did well for the most part. You know, I didn't find that difficult. I just seemed to know how I had to do things, but it does take its toll. You know,
Hmm.
it can follow onto your family. It can just drain the life out of you. And dealing with people, and it's not that people we don't intend to be draining, but let's face it, we all have baggage, yours truly included. You know, and when you're dealing with that, you become the weight and the anchor for the people that you're assisting. You take the weight for a while so they don't have to. And it does get to be really hard. I've seen a lot of tears. I've seen families break up. I've seen so many, really bad things. And after a while, it just does what it does. But realistically, it's so rewarding as
Hmm.
well. You
That
know,
it is.
when I've had people who just message me like for years, I mean, I've got some beautiful, heartwarming cards and emails saying, you saved my life and you credit me for it. I'm like, no, no, no. I've always said, even to this day, I just like the team is only half the equation. You're the other half. You've got to follow through as well, because one day we're not all going to be here,
Hmm.
and you might have to just handle it on your own. And people find the strength. It's just amazing. So there's a lot of really good stories in there too.
Right. Now I know that they're like going through so many group members in my group. I mean, there was a period of time where it'd be me and another person, and it would just be me. And I could never turn anybody down who needed help. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. And it's about earth angels. And I think all of us are earth angels.
Right. Yeah.
And from what I understand, please excuse me because I got my notes here. All right.
That's okay. That's okay.
Um,
That's
so
okay.
it's good. But they say angels, angels from up there, you know, walk the earth as humans. And I believe that. The souls of angels who have incarnated as humans. Incarnated angels are very much human. Look at us. And when I say that, I don't say that, that we're angels and we're egotistical. I don't say that in that manner. I
Mm-hmm.
say it with pure humility, and I mean, there's times when I'll got a story for you I like to tell. I remember I was going through a rough patch, and this was a while back, and I went to a restaurant, and I came out for a smoke, and this old man, I swear to God, he had to be in his 90s. He was by himself. He was all in taggart and rags, and he asked if I could give him $5 so he can get something to eat. You know,
Mm.
I never met this person in my entire life. And I did, you know, I gave him the $5 and he got a cup of coffee and he got some food. But you know what? Honest to God, I had the best 6 months after that experience. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow.
And and he's not the only one. I believe that the people who have a loving light inside them that come and help you out as much as they can, and then they leave. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
really bothered me for the longest time because, I like my teachers. My teachers would come, and they might be in my life for like 3 months, 4 months. You know what I mean? And then they
Mm-hmm.
would leave, and I'd never hear from them again. And so I could never figure out why, never. But now that I wanted to bring this topic up tonight, I can see where it happens. How about you? Have you ever experienced anything like this?
I've experienced multiple angelic experiences. Actually, I've had
Hmm.
phenomenal experiences. But before I get into that, I want to just touch a little bit on what you said with respects to earth angels. Sometimes, and because there's somebody in my life who is very near and dear, who is probably one of the kindest people I've ever met. Just very, service to others, will do anything for others, and been bullied from the time of being a child and wondering, like, why has my life been so hard? Why have I had all this bad luck? And I said, it's because of your light.
Hmm.
I always said, you're an earth angel. I said, and the darkness doesn't like that. The darkness is going to do everything to make your life a living hell. People are going to see you, and they're going to see the reflection of themselves, because it's going to reflect from your light onto them, and they're not going to understand why they don't like you, when in all reality they're seeing themselves, their own energy. So they're repelled by that, but they associate that with you. In fact, a grounding technique that I started doing and giving to everybody who wanted to know how to ground is based on that theory, only it works with reflection.
Hmm.
And he looked at me and he goes, it's the first time I've actually ever really got it. I understand it now. This makes sense to me. And he's still like that. I said, it's your light. And there are people like that, because I don't believe in coincidence. I believe things happen for a reason. I believe we attract certain people into our lives. I believe people of like mind find one another. People are supposed to make a difference. Amelia and I are a perfect example of that, actually, because, what started off as, just she won an auction to spend an evening with me. And I was just like, wow, really? And it went to charity, right? It went because I support animal rescues, many different things. So that's where it went. And from that point on, we just connected, and we've come to find out that we possibly have lineage together, past lives together. She would be having dreams and goes, oh my God, I think it was you, actually. It was just strange. But people who are like-minded, I have in the last 5 years, without knowing what was happening in this world, have been asked to come on, especially in the last 3, to help light workers with attachments, gifted
Hmm.
people that could do phenomenal things, working with people, working with the planet, working with animals. I mean, psychically out of this freaking world, so we connect up, and I'm like, there we go. All people will come together. So your earth angels, maybe in one form or another, do come together to eventually do what they have to do to assist the fallen, or assist those who need to be helped, assist grounded spirits get home. Maybe we are nearing something because there's an abundance of it,
Yes, I
right?
believe that too. I really, really believe that because it just not so much into the investigating, but there's a lot of people that do come up and ask for my help,
Mm-hmm.
and it does get it gets overwhelming for me. But
Mm.
I keep trudging on. And it's funny because there's sometimes that I just get so tired of helping, you know, and it's like spirit gives me that extra kick in the butt when I'm feeling down, and
Yeah,
then I continue on what I'm doing.
that's it. But that's sometimes that's what we need. But you also have to consider, with when you're having things like depression or anxiety and you're working in this field, it's possible, have you picked something up along the way that has somehow attached itself, because they're notorious for amplifying these things, and they're not bound by time or space, so they sort of sit in the background manipulating all these feelings because they feed off of that, therefore they need to keep it going.
Ah, okay.
Just we find that a lot.
If you happen to take a glance tonight, I'd be more than happy if you could do that for me.
Yeah, we can definitely look into that, and I can show you how
Yeah,
the process goes. I can let you know what
I'd
we would need
appreciate
to
that.
do that, because sometimes just changing your frequency or vibrations, negative things can't survive in a positive environment. So it's a
Right.
matter of keeping everything, the frequencies high, and keeping the vibrations high. They just can't. Hey, guy, I got Mike and Corinne and Bubbly Boo,
Mike
and
and
it's a
Corinne,
party. Yeah, it's getting
thank thank you for
there.
coming.
So I think with that being said, when you can eliminate that as a possibility, then it's like, okay, I think I can move from this point. We've seen people where attachments have been removed, people who didn't even realize they had them. All of a sudden, it's like, wow. It's not that it just makes things go away. Sometimes it does. It depends if these are the cause of it or not. But if they're just amplifying it, then at least maybe we can dumb it down a little bit.
Hmm.
And again, it's not always the case, but I always believe I'm going through the process of elimination.
Hmm.
So just a thought.
I appreciate that thought. Mike, Corinne, do you have any questions for Michelle? Feel free.
You guys
You
throw on in there. You guys are all used to the drill.
know. But
So,
yeah, so that it would. I don't know, like today, because I just had a feeling that my guest wasn't going to make it tonight, and I was at work, believe it or not, and
oh,
um, and I'm a meat cutter. I cut meat for a living, and all of a sudden, Earth Angels came up to play,
no,
and like I do not believe in coincidences. I know everything happens for a reason,
right.
and that's why you're here on the show, and I love it.
There we
So
go. There we
uh,
go.
I mean, there's no ands or doubts about it, and I just feel like that now. Like today at work, we're talking. I was thinking of the Earth Angels, but how about Watchers? Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the reason why I say that is whenever I would put the meat out in the case for the customers and stuff, these people would walk by me and they would give me the evil eye. It was like their eyes are black. And it was like,
Hmm.
and it wasn't a smile. They were
No,
like,
it was like a sort of sneer.
they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously,
Uh-huh.
seriously. Has that ever
Right.
happened to you?
Mm. You got your lovers, you got your haters. That's what I always say. but but I've had tremendous amount of angelic experiences, not so much just angels on earth, but actual angelic experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I've had experiences with meeting people who you just sort of have to ask yourself, are you even from here? Are we dealing with ETs, hybrids? Are we dealing with a malevolent energy? I have come face to face with malevolent things,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I think that anything can step in to an
Right.
individual. I think
Okay.
it's possible. Even a human spirit, really, can step in to another person. You hear about things like that even happening with some folks. I mean, if not done properly, some folks who might, be practicing astral projection, out of body experiences. It happens with people in comas sometimes because let's face it, we don't just sit in the body. Your
Right.
coma, you go to sleep at night. It's like sleeping in your car in the garage. Oh, hey Wayne. It's like sleeping in your car and then staying in the garage. It doesn't make any sense. If you have if you're able to move around, we travel, we go places, we do things. We are beings of light having a human experience. We're not, it's not the other way around. The
Right.
body is just the vehicle. So I do think that people can step in. And are those the people that are walking around sneering? Because they're not all possessed,
Right.
they're maybe
Right.
manipulated. Maybe they have attachments as well. Like,
Hmm.
I know it seems to be out there. People just think to themselves, well, there's demonic attachments and stuff. Is very rare. I agree with it, but I don't. I believe certain aspects of demonic attachments can be. Possession is extremely rare,
Hmm.
but attachments are not. They're not really that rare. People have
Right.
attachments. Sometimes it could just be a nasty, butted, freaking human spirit too, causing you all kinds of angst, but
Hmm.
sometimes not. And people dare to tread where maybe they think it's going to be a good time, but maybe they shouldn't be treading.
Right.
And when you start messing with things, you better be prepared for the consequences of messing with those things, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Now I know that there was a lot of places, a lot of clients that I had where they would allow they would have paranormal groups come into their house,
Mm.
and they did it all wrong, and actually instead of helping them, they made it worse for them. And
Mm-hmm.
then my group had to come in and take care of business, you know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I
I hear
and
you there, boy.
there was some rough ones, and but we managed to help them out. But what bothers me about it is that, like you said, you got to know what you're doing. You can't. And
Too many shows out now. Yeah, I call them, and this is not with any disrespect intended, but couch investigators, because they just watch TV and like, oh, I would have done this, or you should have done this. And the
hmm
problem, and I'm sure you'll agree because we seem to be of like mind this way, is that you have people going in taking chances with the
hmm
families they're trying to help. They're going in challenging, they're going and making all kinds of invitations. But sometimes that invitation is something as simple as taking a voice recorder and inviting communication. That's an
right.
invite of sorts. So you want to be respectful if you're going to be making that invitation. I typically don't even do investigations on with the type of people that I assist. And I've been like that for many years because
hmm
why would the family want to communicate with something that they don't want there, that they're scared of, that's causing them issues?
Right.
I'm seasoned enough to know by what people tell me
hmm
pretty much what I'm dealing with. Here you go. Here's something for Wayne for you. There you go.
Would
See, it
you?
helps when your guests can produce a show too. Do you want me to read that? Can you
Yeah,
read it?
please.
Okay, would you hop the fence into the tiger's pen? Likely not, but would you go in if you knew the tigers were invisible? They can see you, but you can't see them. Sounds like a lot of fun. Not. So
Uh,
that's dealing with an aggressive entity. Yeah, you can't
right.
see them. Why are you going to go in there and poke the bear and demand you do
Exactly.
this and do these parlor tricks and do this and do that? And then you go home and you leave the family to pick up the pieces. So now you've antagonized something, you've made an official invitation, and
Right.
you've left. That's where
Mm.
I have a problem, I think, with that.
And I know with some of the problem, like with that situation, when it comes down to, see, to me, people say, should I smudge my house? Or should I put holy water or the oils or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them it really, really don't work in my own experience. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because what happens is it might get rid of it for a while, you know, but eventually it'll probably come back with a vengeance on them
Mm-hmm.
after the smudge goes away or whatever. What do
Mm-hmm.
you think?
I think it's about intention more than anything. I think you can do anything really within your space to try to get rid of something or take control of your space. But I always say what you mean what you say, follow through. You can use sage, dragon's blood, there's Palo Santos, there's cedar, there's lemongrass. There's tons of stuff you can use, but you have to believe in it.
Right.
When you're clearing something, you have to put strong intention between the act of clearing, and you have to put power behind the words that you use. Mean those words, believe in those words, because I believe the clearing itself is something that empowers the individual to
Okay.
put forth, like, I am taking control of the space and I am bumping your ass out. And it's all of the combination of the intention and the power behind that intention that is what will determine whether that's going to work or not. I've seen people just go through the motions. You can't go through the motions. They
No.
know you're just going through the motions. But I've seen people literally, when I start just, cleansing and teaching people how to properly cleanse, because there is an art to it. It's not just what a lot of people think, just
Right.
starting here or here. There is an art form to it. And I've seen people get so mad because they feel empowered and they have something that you have to give them something to do to take back their space. They don't understand. This is an invisible world. Not everybody I believe has the ability, but not everyone knows how to use it. So you
Right.
have to give them something to help them take control.
Now, here's my theory on that. I got a lot of theories, and that's why I'm glad you're on the show tonight, because I want to run them by you. I believe that, like you said, everyone is born with the gift of seeing and hearing, and whatever. But I believe that spirit, God, or whoever y'all believe in, gives it to other people a little extra. It's like he picked us out, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more. I'm not going to, tell you or show you about it, but eventually you're going to realize. And I believe that he did. Whoever you believe in, and I seriously believe that. I also, what happened was back in 1983, I was in the Navy and I was on an island called Diego Garcia. And at the time, I was taking a drug called Antabuse, and that was to wean you off alcohol. Well, I had that in my system for a year. Well, that day I forgot to take the drug, the medication. And I got so darn depressed that I drank a whole fifth of Jack Daniels on it. Yeah. And I was on the island and they actually rushed me back to the ship. And when I got there, I was pronounced dead, I can't get the amount of time, if it was 10 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever. But all I know is that when I came back, I started to see things, hear things, and feel things that weren't there. Okay. And it really bothered me a lot because I did not understand what was happening to me. And I went to doctors, I went to priests, theologians, anybody that would listen to me, but they had no cure. Not a cure, I'm sorry. They wouldn't have an answer for me. But I did talk to somebody who was really big in the metaphysical world.
Right.
And she was legit. Down just like you. No one can be you, but I'm just saying she was on your level, pretty close to it. And she said, what you probably experienced was a walk-in. Okay. I don't know what you guys call them, but
step-ins, walk-ins, same thing. Yeah. Something just, jumping in.
The old one left and the other one, a new one came in, and it just, I guess, heightened my senses and stuff like that. And from 1983, Michelle, until now, it's just nonstop. You know what I mean?
Well, Amelia went through the same thing. I think she had 4 NDEs, and I know we've had a lot of guests who have come on to our show who've talked about NDEs, and what they seem to share in common is the fact that many of them come back with these extra abilities, and they are like almost super psychic.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know. It's like you die, even for like a couple of minutes, you come back. It's like awakened
Yeah.
somehow,
And you know
right?
what's crazy? I was 21 when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21. And I don't remember my
Hmm.
childhood. It's like
Mm.
everything known, everything that I grew up with just went away. And it was like, I remember everything up to the age of 21. Did I say that right? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have no recollection, no long-term
No,
memory beyond that. Yeah.
little bit here and there. Some
Right.
stuff keeps popping up now and then, but
So did you have depression before that time?
oh yeah,
Is, right. So
absolutely.
it's always been there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting. There's there's a lot of different theories around that, but I believe if you come back, first off, if you're given another opportunity and you're giving a gift to help you moving forward, I truly believe that you're meant to do something special with it.
And
Otherwise, I don't think you would have been allowed to come back in the first place. Certainly not with an ability to
right.
be able to see beyond the ether, so to speak, and especially to assist other people. Paranormal was not something I chose to get into. It
Right.
sort of, I fell into it. It just sort
Hmm.
of happened and it just snowballed. But I mean, I'm versed in so many other things. It just seems to be where most people need me,
Right.
and people who work with me as part of the team. Um, it's the same. Like we don't have a big turnover on our team. Like we haven't.
Right.
We've been very consistent throughout many years.
Hmm.
And Amelia was the last to join, and that was like 3 years ago, 2019.
Wow.
I mean 2018. It was like old brain, but anyhow, the thing is like it's very stable, and I don't, even when we would investigate or when we travel, I don't have to say anything. Everybody automatically knows what they have to do.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's not something I have to say, okay, you do this, you do that. If
Right.
we're at a benign location doing investigations, because sometimes we do for film, stuff like that, we've
Hmm.
filmed a lot. And people would just come in. It's like they know if you're going in to do a voice, an EVP, for example, then you don't just walk in where you see a recorder laying there. You announce yourself, timestamp it, do what you have to do. When you leave, you timestamp it again, and you
Hmm.
say what you're doing. So when we're listening, it's just like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
It's
Well,
never. I don't ever have to chastise anybody for
mhm.
anything. Everything works perfectly.
And that's good. Now, the crew I got now, they're unbelievable. You know what's this?
Oh, he says the paranormal, which is truly the normal, chooses you. You do not choose it. I agree.
I agree with that too.
I agree. We just fall into it, right?
But my group I have now, and it took me a long time to get to it.
Hmm.
I don't even have to go with them on the investigations. They know exactly
There you
what,
go.
and so I mean that's why, you know, maybe I can get to retire or something like that.
You might, but here's the thing: when you head up a team, like for me especially, because I'm always been the one in the forefront, with
Hmm.
media and stuff. I'm the one that everybody wants to deal with.
Right.
Um, but again, it's just like I feel like my team is more than capable of doing anything.
Right.
Um, it's just I'm just the one that they see. Therefore, they don't realize when you're doing an investigation that there's an entire team. I'm just the guy
Right.
in the front that you talk
Yes.
to. I
Yeah.
take very little
Absolutely.
credit, right?
And
Very little credit.
I try to push it off on the others, but it just doesn't work. It's just like they're attracted, like you, to me.
Yeah. Mm,
And I remember one time. I mean, I was like really frustrated at Spirit. Um,
mm.
I wanted to be normal for one night. Okay, I really did wanted to be normal.
Why?
Well,
Why?
well,
Being
I
the
just
odd
wanted to.
man, that was the best way.
I wanted to be normal, but so I had a date. I had a date with a girl.
Ooh, a date.
Yeah. And no, I'm telling you, it was the first one in a very long time. And I told her straight out, we are not talking paranormal. We're going to talk normal stuff here. I don't want to talk about this. So,
So was it very quiet?
oh God, no. It only lasted like 15 minutes because she got a call. She got text messages from her mother
Oh, geez.
saying that the mom needed help. I'm like,
Right.
son of a bitch.
Like,
You
that's
know?
what you get for trying to be normal.
I
I'm just
know.
saying. I can't
So,
do that.
boy, I looked up in the sky and I said, damn, what is my purpose? And I said that looking up, I was so mad at spirit. Oh my God, was I mad? And then I get home. I said that. What's my purpose for 3 freaking hours, right? What's my purpose? I want to be normal. I wanted to have a date. I wanted to have a good time. And then all of a sudden, I go to bed at midnight, 12:30, I get a phone call. It's a client. 1:00, I get a phone call. All the way up to 3:00 every half
No,
hour.
there's your purpose. They want
And
to
I said,
drill it
okay,
home to you.
yeah. And there were times that I wanted to see what it was like to be normal. And I know you understand what
I do.
I'm saying here. And because there's not a lot of us out there that
Yeah,
are
that
out
do it
there.
right.
Right.
That do it right. Yeah.
And so I remember a lot of times that I would go off, slightly go off the path, but automatically I was put right back on it again. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
true. Normal is overrated. I mean, I've basically am completely obscure and so far from normal. All you have to do is walk through, my space and have a look around, and people are just like, you come in and I have a cabinet full of like real human skulls, and I've
oh,
got
sweet.
old antique, oh yeah, like taxidermy and big old carved furniture. Like you see this behind me, people are like, that's an amazing set. I'm like, no, this is actually my house. It's just kind of like everything like that. I think the
That is
most
so
normal
cool.
thing about me is my chihuahuas, and
Uh-oh.
they're just little buggers, so they're not really normal either. But but chihuahuas is chihuahua thing. But that's probably as close to normal
Right.
as I have in my life, because it's just no, that's I don't want to be normal.
It's hard for me. There are times when I get
Yes.
depressed and I want
Uh,
not, but lately I just accepted the fact that, yeah, this is what I do. And whoever's going to like jump in front of me, I got to
mm,
deal with it. Um, but the other thing I wanted to talk about were the animal spirits. What does
yeah.
animal spirits mean to you?
Oh, guides. Um, I believe people can come back as animals. The
Hmm.
Buddhists believe that people can come back as animals. Animals are very sentient beings. Like, I mean, they're like super psychics. There some researchers have even taken dogs on investigations with them. Cats, for example, are believed to ward off. Many cultures believe they ward off evil spirits and they're protectors of the home.
Hmm.
We have several. We've got probably 2 or 3 spirit cats just here in the house
Oh,
from
that'd be
days
cool.
gone by. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's just but like Wayne says, there are totems as well.
Hmm.
A lot of the indigenous people believe in animal totems, spirit animals, not just animals in spirit, but your spirit animal. There's a lot to do with that.
I'd like to share a story with you.
Of
Um,
course.
it was my meditation, and this is like when I first started really getting into um, meditating. I Black Elk, Lakota Sioux
Mhm.
Shaman. I was in the bookstore, and the book just jumped into my hands. It literally just jumped, and I started to read that, and then I adopted him as a spirit guide, you know. And so one of my meditations is that he took me down to a lake. It was at night, and the mountains circled the lake. And we're just sitting there. He didn't say a word to me that time. And all of a sudden, 2 dolphins come up. Okay. And he told me to go out there to the dolphins, right? And so as I walked out in the water, the dolphins came up under me and they took me underwater. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like underwater. And I'm like, where are we going? In my mind, I'm thinking, I can't breathe. You know what I mean? But I was breathing.
Right. This is there.
And
Yeah.
so the dolphins are going down. And then we get to the center of the earth. Okay. And they left me off. And so I walked in, and I think they're called stalagmites. I'm not sure.
Mm.
They're real big, like rocks figures. They look like cones or something like that.
Okay.
So I walked in, and as I was walking, this little pup came up to me, right? It was a wolf pup. And I mean, he was a small little dude, like that, like your little chihuahua, man. He was like,
Right.
like big. And so he followed me, and I just kept going and walking, and he followed with me. And honest to God, and this is so true, and I can just see it right now, is that there was a lady there, okay, sitting on a rock, okay, long white hair,
Mm.
and just as beautiful as I mean, beautiful. And I knew who it was. Okay, I knew that was Mother Earth. There's no doubt in my mind that was Mother Earth. And we sat down there, and she just talked to me like normal. And then she pointed out the little wolf pup, and that was my present from her to me.
Your
And that
totem
was my
animal was
totem.
a wolf.
And he was a wolf. And I named him Lakota.
Right.
He's big, he's bad, he kicks ass. Whoever tries to get into my meditation state, he'll rip
Right.
them apart. You know what I mean? And he also
Mm.
goes on investigations with me. He's got my back. But
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to share that with you and for the people out there too, because that's the first time I actually shared something like that. But when I saw her, it was like, wow. And I came out of the meditation, and and when I came out of meditations, it was just like, wow, look at. I mean, I was
Did
like
that
glow.
just happen?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Oh, I got another one to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you on this
No,
one.
no, tell us.
Oh no, you all
Do
think
it.
I'm going to be nuts.
Nah, I can't be any nuts. More nuts than me.
Okay, all right, I'll tell you this one, and this like really blew me away. A friend of mine called me up, and she said, "Your angels are calling you." I'm like, "No, you're not." She said, "Your angels are calling you." And so she was on the phone with me. I had her on speaker, and I'm meditating, and two angels came down, okay, and they took my spirit up to the heavens, right?
Yeah, he's saying
Uh,
stalagmites grow up from the cave floors,
okay.
while stalactites grow down from the ceilings of
Oh,
caves.
thank you, Wayne. I appreciate that, buddy.
There we go.
But so the two angels came down, and they had smiles on their face, thank God, you know.
Mm.
And so they took me up to the heavens. And when I got up there, all right, there was a lot of angels there, a lot of angels. And when
Mm.
I got there, it was like they parted, angels on one side, angels on the other. And there was a white rug outlined in gold. And
Mm.
I walked it, and I saw this man sitting in a chair, a marble chair, and he had short white hair. And I walked up, and I'm scared. You don't know how much scared I am, because I wasn't used to this type of meditating. And so I went up there, and he turned around, looked at me, and he smiled. And he put his hand right on my head.
Mm.
And it was like I fainted. Now, this is true. I mean, this is my meditation. I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's ass or nothing like that. Okay.
Mm.
I'm being honest here when I say
Hey,
this.
it's your meditation. Everybody's got a different journey.
And when I came through, I had two angel wings on the back of my back. Okay.
Mm.
And then I asked him what my purpose was. And he said, to help people, to heal people,
Mm-hmm.
and And it just seems like after that, everybody I touched felt better. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that was that blew me away really
Hmm.
because you got to think I was bigger back then. And I did drink some beers back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
It's
like,
like, again, did that really happen? I know.
but what really,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
what
here's
really
a question
was
for
this?
you. I should be interviewing you. He wants to know, did you see the color of his eyes or what was he wearing?
White, all white,
Oh,
a
wait.
white
And
robe, all
how
white.
about his eyes? What color was
His
his
eyes
eye?
were blue,
There
blue.
we go. Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
now somebody's going to come out there who believes in aliens who's going to say that could have been Asatar or Ashtar. You
Could have
know,
been, yeah.
could have been, yeah.
Palladians could have been. Oh, yeah. I mean, but there's a fine line, I think, between who we deem to be angelic and extraterrestrial. Um, just like they look at demonics as being possible, um, draconians, reptilians,
Hmm.
archons. It's the same thing, I guess, with angelics. They would look at them as Palladians or Andromedans and things like that. Sorry, another question from Wayne. Did the robe shimmer?
No, not at
The
all.
robe not shimmer. Okay, because he had an experience similar, so that's why he's
Okay.
probably asking. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that it's your journey through meditation,
Hmm.
and we all go, to different places. We all see different things.
Right.
For the longest time, I thought I would be communicating with this type of being. And it ends up I'm dealing with extraterrestrials, like most of the time
Can
growing
you
up.
tell the difference? Do they try to hide themselves from you,
Oh,
or
you
like
know,
like mask themselves as something else?
at first, I think growing up, I had, what I deemed to be an attachment. And because a lot of the cases I've worked had both, like the
Hmm.
portals would bring in these demonic looking beings, and they would also have extraterrestrial beings. And I mean, I've since had guests on that say, "Oh no, tall whites can growl." I'm like, what? Tall whites can growl? Are you kidding me? And I'm just like, this is crazy. But what do I know? So anyway, I just started remembering having experiences, knowing what I know now as a researcher, having researched extensively
Hmm.
on extraterrestrials and having had many different experiences. I'm thinking these may have been one of the same. Now, I've had unbelievable extraterrestrial experiences, and the one night, dealing with grays, because I've had tall whites, grays. I've had people see draconians around me. I'm thinking, oh, that's possible, I guess. What the heck? It's a party. Go ahead. But um, I woke up one night and he was standing right beside me. I could have touched him, a solid form. So didn't
Hmm.
try to hide at that point. But for the most part, they try to hide. I've
Okay.
had I've had some come through saying dim the lights, dim the lights. I guess I don't know. LED lights may bother them. I don't know.
Right.
But they seem to, if I'm working, I find myself in different, like researching different things that I wasn't looking for. I'm going, oh, but I ask. I'm like, I want
Hmm.
to know. I want to know about this. I want to know about that. Sometimes it could be a month later.
Right.
And the next thing you know, it's right there in front of me. I'm like, thanks. I'll take that. A little late, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I know.
you know,
I,
so
I,
I don't
I
know.
oh my God, I know how you feel. Wayne, you're welcome, buddy. I'm glad to know that there's somebody out there also that has experienced this with me.
Yeah, that's what he said. He had a meeting with someone like that in a vision that he had. It sounded very
That
familiar.
is,
So
I appreciate, and I appreciate you sharing that with me, Wayne. I really do. But we are getting close. I was going to
yep.
put us in a meditation tonight, but I'm going to do that next week.
Well, you just
I,
happen to be with the boss, so if you go for a few minutes,
I
you're okay.
okay, I got the boss on hand
So
here.
if you'd
So,
like a meditation, you're welcome to one. There's
oh,
no one
okay,
on
I'll
after
do
you,
a
so
quickie one here.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fine.
okay, what I'd like everybody to do is close their eyes
I've got company. Okay.
and take real deep breaths. Slowly inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now I would like everybody just to clear their minds. Have a blank mind. And I want you to open up in your brain, in your mind. I want you to look for the little white light that you see off in the distance. And what I would like you to do is to walk toward that light. And as you're walking toward that light is going to become bigger. But as you're walking to the light, you really need to have an open mind. Okay. Now I want you to walk into the light, and you're going to come into a meadow. And there's a big rock in the middle of that meadow. I want you to go and sit on that rock. I mean, there's trees everywhere, there's flowers everywhere. Whatever the meadow that you're in, it's your own meadow. It's your own meadow. Now, what I'd like you to do is look up into the sky, and there's going to be a bird that's going to come down to you. Now that bird is with you. And what I'd like you to do is to get on the back of the bird. And he's going to fly. He's going to carry you to places that you need to see. So when you're riding the back of the bird, open your eyes. The bird won't crash.
My bird was a UFO, just saying.
Okay.
Sorry, like that. Because while you're sitting on the rock looking at things, I'm looking at a tall white going, oh, it says a bird coming. I look up and it's like, oh, see how different it is? Honest to
Yes.
God. You see how different it is for us all?
Mm-hmm.
As much as I'm trying to envision, because I'm hearing your voice, it's just as this what presented itself to me.
That's cool.
That's different.
Yeah, it is. But with the people still in meditation, close your eyes. Come on. You gotta finish your UFO experience. There you go. But so everybody, I just want you to open up your eyes, and I want you to go where the bird takes you. He's not going to hurt you. He's not going to throw you. You got to have faith and trust that bird. I mean, it could be a cardinal, it could be a hawk, it could be a robin, any type of bird. Now the bird is coming back down to the rock. And I want you to get off the back of the bird. And I want you to thank the bird for taking you to where you need to be on that flight. And on the count of 3, I want you to wake up. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back.
That was a very good meditation.
Thank you.
I was already up there in the craft. I
And
don't
what
want to
did
know
they
where we're
say to
going.
you? What did they say to you? What did they say?
Nothing. Everything is just like I see myself there. All of a sudden, I see myself go up. I'm just on a craft. Couldn't tell you if it was round. Couldn't tell you what it was because I'm just
Mhm.
I'm just in there. It's very very bright light,
Yes.
And beyond that, then it's just like, oh, we're gonna take you where you want to go. Nope.
I'm glad you
I'm
enjoyed
good right
that.
here. Thanks. Yep.
I'm glad you enjoyed the meditation, and everybody out there, I hope you did too. And I hope that during that meditation that you saw what you need to be seen. You know, but it is getting close to the witching hour, and it is time to close up shop here. I
Hmm.
want to thank Michelle for coming on and filling in on quick notice, and
My
it was an
pleasure.
honor having you on the show. It really
Thank
was.
you. It was my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, and I wasn't nervous, believe it or not. I just
No,
felt like,
I'm
no,
glad.
honest to God, honestly, I mean, if I did, I just felt like normal talking to a good friend,
Thank
plus my
you.
manager. Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah.
My man.
You're safe, honestly.
I'm good. I'm glad. And everybody who came to the show tonight, thank you. I truly appreciate it. And hope to see you again next week. Um, everybody, what I'd like you to do, honestly, is parents, hug your children and tell them that you love them. And children, give your parents a hug and tell them you love them. And thank you. Happy hunting.
Right.
Night.